After you hear her, you will believe like I do. Thankfully, she thinks about this a lot. Lorraine Cortés-Vázquez is the Commissioner of Aging for the City of New York City. Lorraine, good to see you.
Great to
really
see you.
Great to see you. It's been, last time we talked, we had 16 or 17 minutes at an event, and it was so amazing, I thought. And but we don't have that much time here.
No, that's okay. So we can do this quickly.
We got to get down to it. So I wrote some notes that I want to make sure I talk to you about. My dad used to have a figure. It says, liars figure, but figures don't lie.
Right.
And when I interviewed you last fall, it was really interesting because you came up with figures that were so impressive and so important. It was about the number of people who are living in New York and who will be in New York of a certain age. It's large and getting larger. The one thing that stuck in me right now, over 60 age in New York City, there are like 21% of the population right now.
Yes.
It's going to be what by 2030?
It'll be 25%.
25.
We are 1.8 million, soon to grow to 1.9 million very quickly. The interesting thing that I always tell people is when the population decreased in New York City, the older population increased by 6%. So population decreased by 1%, but the older population increased by 6%.
And so what does that mean for us? What does it mean for you?
What this means for all of us, you and I and many other people, is that this city needs to prepare itself for today as well as in the future, because it has to be an age-inclusive city. When you have 20% and upwards of 20% of your population that's over the age of 60, there's certain needs and wants that they have that we must be responsive to. And we are doing a lot of that already, and we'll be doing more. But younger people, soon, what is it, going to be 15 years before the millennials start turning 60? Mm-hmm. Their needs and wants are going to be very different than our needs and wants are. And so that the city needs to be adapting to what are the needs of those individuals as we start coming forward. It's everything. It's transportation. It is housing. Yes. It's housing. And now with the City of Yes, we have an opportunity to make housing much more affordable and adjustable for older adults.
We used to have it so that we all lived in the same city. We never moved to New York. We never moved to somewhere else. We all lived as a family. We grew old together. We died, blah, blah, blah. It's different now.
Yes.
This city, though, can do that because there's benefits of the city that exist nowhere else.
Right. The main thing is for you to stay at home. You don't want to be institutionalized. Older adults thrive better in their home. So if you want to be a city that's age inclusive, you need to make sure that you have everything possible. And we have so much already. Now just make it much more adaptable and accessible to older adults.
Last I talked to you, it was right after the election, but there was no new president. How has this changed your job in the city of New York, where you want the government to really help out here because this is the biggest city in the country?
Well, right now, there's such distractions with this whole conversation around Social Security. Do you know that 53% of New Yorkers depend on Social Security?
53%?
Older New Yorkers.
So it's not just rich people who live in New York, right?
No, everyone depends on Social Security. And Social Security is something that you've invested in and your employer has invested in. So it is not an entitlement. It is your right to have it.
Yeah, and you know, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton used to say when he first became president, it takes a village. And that's what it really does, right?
It does take a village.
And what are we not doing? What should we be doing in this it takes a village mantra?
I think people need to be mindful of some of the ageism that we each hold, right? You look at benevolent ageism, you look at all of the tropes that we say about age. Employers have to look at age differently than what they have looked at age before, because their workforce is going to be older. If you look at workforce, the workforce is a funnel, with the largest part of the workforce being older adults and the smaller part of the workforce being young people. Employers have to start adapting to that and making sure that they have opportunities and use the assets and the skills that the older worker brings.
You like to say, real quickly, you like to say that about figures, that age is not just a number.
No, age is not a number. Age is a matter of lifestyle. Age is a matter of how you choose to live and how society chooses to adapt to it.
Okay, one more last question. You got this group called ROAR, which is how you and I met.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that. And it's really amazing what's happened. They are giving you their first award about someone who makes a big difference and someone who takes life and says, you know what, I may be 74, 75, but we're going to live our life fully. What does it mean that you got this award?
You know, it was really great because I appreciate anyone talking about age. And ROAR is really beating age in the head and telling people that we are here, we're moving forward, we're in all industries, and there's so much more that we can contribute. We are not going to be marginalized, and that's what I love about ROAR.
I like that. It sounds like a protest slant. We are not going to be marginalized. I love that. Would you stick around for another segment, because Shirlene, Pedro, and Brittany would like to come over here and have a talk with you, because they are interested. And you know what? It takes a village. These people are part of the village, and they really want to listen.
And they are going to age also, yes.
All right, great. This is such an important and crucial issue. Think about when you were growing up. How many times did you hear about people who say, oh, they lived to be 100? Well, now we regularly hear that. It was unique back then. That is going to grow, that number will be, and we have to embrace it and love it and figure out ways to work together. And so, Shirlene and gang, we are here, and you've got the floor here, both of you.
You, my friend, are so right about that, and I'm glad that you brought this conversation to Mornings at 10. Lorraine, thank you so much for being with us. I have a dad who's about to be 80 years old this year. Sorry, Dad, I'm exposing you. But in my culture, we don't put our parents in nursing homes. We care for our parents. We let them stay in their homes. At least we try to. But at home, I also have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So I'm trying to balance both. So how do you do both? Do you have advice?
Yeah. One of the things, first of all, I'm going to give you a number after I get off the air so you can call our caregiving hotline and get some information for you and your dad, by the way. Caregiving is the crises that this country is going to be facing soon, particularly someone like you that's in the squeeze generation. Yeah. But it is essential. It is contributing so much to the economy. Because imagine if we had to pay for all of the time and the services that you give your father. Society couldn't do that. So what our responsibility is to take care of you as the caregiver, to give you some respite, to give you information, to alleviate some of the issues. Like every now and then, getting a company to take him to his doctor's appointment, getting someone else to pick up his medicine, instead of all of that falling on you, getting someone who can give you some respite so that they can take care of him so he can have his daily activities. Because you're right, in our culture, my culture, we don't put you in an institution. I'm your daughter, I'm not your caregiver, and that's one of our problems. Most of us, I'm sure you never thought of yourself as caregiver. Your daughter.
Until I became a mom. Wait a minute. And now my parents are aging, my mom and my dad. Yeah. You know, I'm seeing and I'm worrying.
Yeah, and it is. And it's a burden, but it is also a blessing. True. And so what we need to do is to make sure that we make it workable for you. And there are resources for individuals like you.
And we do want to touch on those resources. I do have to say, everyone ages. It's an important conversation to have, except for my wife. She does not age. Need to say.
Smart guy.
Okay. But many boomers, right, they have a lot of money because they've been working for a long time, but there's still a massive population that do not have as much money. So talk about some of the resources that you say the city can help provide.
So I want to first debunk something. All boomers do not have money. There's a myth that all boomers do, and so it conjures up an image of the greedy geezer, older adult who wants everything. No, we have a lot of old boomers who are impoverished, who are mostly dependent on Social Security. So that's really an important feature to say. The same demographics that we have across all society, we have that in older adults. We have a high rate of poverty, we have a high rate of food insecurity, and it's our jobs to make sure that we really handle that. So what was your question again?
No, about the resources. I mean, you touched on some of the resources about helping the caretakers. Is there anything we can do to help the people who are receiving the care? What resources do they have?
First of all, I want everyone to know that we have 308 older adult clubs throughout New York City. And they're come in all cultures. We respond to cultures, religious differences. Go to those older adult clubs. You will have fun. They're not like your old grandfather's Cadillac. These are new older adult clubs that bring lots of wonderful activities. And, they respond to what the community is asking for and what the community needs. And we do it. We have good food. We have Asian food. We have Latino food. It's all.
Do they ride motorcycles, too?
Yeah. No, we don't do that. The liability is a little too hard for that. But we have so many resources resources in New York City. And then we have partnerships with all of the cultural institutions. So there's a lot to do. What you need to do is to make sure that you engage, because social isolation is one of the worst things. For all of you, social isolation is a burden. For an older adult, it impacts their health.
And how can younger people, how can we lend a helping hand to make the city a better place?
Good question.
Great question. First thing I'm going to ask each one of you, and which I don't think any of you have, look at your own ageist attitudes. Look at how you look at aging. Some people look at it as a burden. Some people look at it as, oh my God, it's such an imposition in New York City. We all carry our ageist attitudes. Let's really debunk those. I'm going to make you all ambassadors to combat ageism.
I would love to.
I'm with it.
What a great interview you are, but not just because you're a good interview, because you're a magnificent person. You are a life force, and I just can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
We had an incredible educational experience talking about this with the staff, with us. It was really wonderful, and you have really helped a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And
thank you
congratulations.
for opening the conversation.
Well, I think that's what we need. Congratulations on your award. One more thing. You said, you had told me a great number once. We're such a diverse culture here. Everything.
Oh, my God.
How many languages are spoken, and what percentage are not
I'll
speaking
just give you quick numbers. In the older black population grew by 3/4, 75%. Asian Americans grew by 180%. Wow. Latinos doubled. So the older population is not the older population that people have an image of in New York City. We are the most diverse older population in the country, which is why what we do here, other people are looking at. So because we become a model.
It's starting here. And
it's starting here.
You're doing this, my
Thank you.